Well, my name's Geraldine Rogers and I'm Simon's adoptive mum.
My name is Janet Alexander. I am the second eldest sister of Simon Rogers, and I will be in the future looking after him and taking care of all his needs.
My son Terence was away in Africa and he was helping look after children over there, and he said, "Mum, could we take a child?" And then he said, "Mum, please, because I've got so attached to this wee child," and you call him Simon, and he says, "I don't want to leave him. Is there any chance of us being able to take him back to Ireland, even to get him medical care?" And I rang him back and I said yes.
We arrived through the slums, Matari slums, and what we'd seen was complete poverty. We waited for about half an hour and then we were allowed into the convent. We had met Simon, which again was very shocking because we went into a room that was dark, it was cold, there was no pictures, there was nothing, just children lined up with their wee armbands tied together. They had AIDS as babies. My first reaction to Simon was he pulled out her and me. So it was like, very, very strange. Simon immediately called my mum his mum. 2 days later, I absolutely fell in love with him. After that, we had 3 flights home, which in itself was a tough experience because Simon had never been out of Africa, he'd never been out of that room. When we arrived in Birmingham, the unexpected happened and it was very frightening for Simon and for ourselves.
They tried to stop us from Birmingham to Belfast and they took his passport off us and said that he would not be allowed to stay more than a week.
But after showing him the papers and sort of standing there for 40 minutes, we'd held the plane up enough so the air hostess came in, wheeled Simon on, and at that point he just said, right, when you get back to Belfast, we will want to investigate this further.
With them stopping us in Birmingham, it helped us to be known in Belfast. It took 2 years for the adoption of Simon, and in all that time you're always worried because you're thinking, he's not adopted. So until he was ours, you were always worried. Simon's been here 20 years now, and we took Simon when he was 5. When he first came over now, it was very difficult for him to change because he came into a world where everybody was white for a start. And it was so strange for him. He was just a young boy and he was medically ill as well because he had epilepsy and he had cerebral palsy, and he took a stroke with the lack of water and food over in Africa. The first night he slept there, he was in Terence's room because Terence knew him. So we put him in with Terence and we got bunk beds, and Terence slept on the top and he slept on the bottom. And in the middle of the night, Terence ran into us and he said, "Mum, have you got Simon in bed with you?" And we thought, no, why? And he said, "Mum, he's not in bed." So we were panicking and we got up, and when we went in, we couldn't find him. And then we just heard a wee shuffle and there he was under the bed. And then we realised how tough, it was for him to come away out of his culture and his a new world for him altogether. And but he really was such a brave child in himself, and he loved life so much that he was determined to fix things himself. And he taught himself a lot as well just by looking on. He loved his brothers and sisters then. They were all not married at the time, and they all lived in the house, which was great because they all just idolised him and they all had different jobs. Paul was your dad was for wrestling with him, Terence was for singing with him, and Liz was playing with him, and Janet would have taken him out for walks, and he knew everybody's wee job, and because he was autistic as well, they had to stick to them jobs, So, and we were just his mum and dad. He just called us mum and dad. And, but he fitted in well, because we're all mad and so was he, so it works out okay. He loves life so much that he wants to learn. He wants to teach himself. And as I say, he went horse riding and he did everything. He loved bowling, he loved playing bowls, and that all stopped. Simon had scoliosis, which would have killed him if he didn't have had the operation. When he went for the operation, it went wrong, and they damaged Simon's spine, and he then was paralysed, and he had to readjust himself again and his personality. His whole personality changed for a while, and it broke our hearts because we wanted so much for him. We wanted him to really do. I was even going to get him into the sports, you know, and even throwing a beanbag and things like that. And it just didn't work out for us and him, so we had to readjust him in a different way. And Terry, my husband, his dad, he always felt so guilty for us putting him through the operation. But we had no choice because that would have killed him as well. Whenever he went to school, they had to put a bed on the floor for him, you know, mattress on the floor, because he would take bed sores very easily. His whole skin was dead, and he really, you had to be so careful. You had to move him every 2 hours. His wee dignity was hurt because he saw all the other children doing things he could do before with them in the class, and now he couldn't. He was totally different, so he didn't want to go back to school, and we had a hard job getting him out to school. But as I say, he's a good wee sufferer, and we're so proud of him because we never thought we'd get him to laugh and enjoy himself again, but he did, and he's now the wee boy that we just knew at the start, and he's back to himself, although there are things he can't do. But his dad works so hard with him that he nearly gets him to do things, you know, that he was able to once do. On a Sunday morning, they asked us to go on a radio show, and they said to us, "What would you like?" I said, "I'd love him to be able to say, 'What about you? What about you?'" And he does say that now. He does say it.
I think he was loved immediately. It was a strange thing. We just felt that he had, from the moment that he came over, he just fitted in straight away, and the love seemed to be very natural with him, and he himself brought a lot of love out in me and changed my life completely.